Hi, this is Pete Colby again, Southernboysflies@gmail.com. Today I'm going to be tying the egg-sucking leech, which of course is an Alaskan fly, and you won't be using it till next year, but this was the fly of the year in 1994. I went to Alaska in 1995, and I went 3 times since. It's just an unbelievable place. It's one of my favorite places to go.
By some viewers. Sleepless nights lying in bed while wearing waders, constantly fly casting into the bathtub, pitching a tent in the living room, and a burning desire to hawk the house and head for the Alaska outdoors.
That's what will happen if you go to Alaska. I tell you the truth. Like I said, I've been there 4 times. First time was 1995. This egg-sucking leech fly was the fly of the year in 1994. Basically all it is a woolly booger with an egg on the front of it, or a leech sucking an egg. So I'm going to tie this pretty simple. Black, purple, olive. You can tie them any color you want, but those seem to be the standard colors. This is a number 1 Mustad 3407 stainless steel hook. I've already started the next one. What it is, I always use monofilament thread, and I start by taking and cutting 2 strips of lead. I don't like wrapping them around. I use just the lead strips, and I put a strip on each side of the hook. It seems that I can seem to tie the fly better and even. And plus, I let the end of the lead stick out just a shade past the curvature of the hook. That way it helps hold up the marabou tail so it doesn't get tail wrapped as much. And I'll put a little glue on top of that just to start that. I always use a lot of glue. You guys know from my other fly videos I use a lot of glue. I'll take a nice little clump of marabou. I like to use a bigger clump here. That way it gets wet and it gets heavy. Because of the currents you're going to be fishing, especially if you're going to fish the Kenai or the confluence where the Kenai and Russian goes. It's about a 7-knot current. You have to be heavy. If that fly is not bouncing on the bottom, I will guarantee you that you will not catch a fish. I don't care if you're the greatest fisherman in the world. If that fly is 4 inches off the bottom, you will not catch a fish. Why? Because the salmon are coming up current. Their bellies are literally dragging on the bottom. And as they're coming, of course, they're breathing quite heavily. Of course, their mouths are going up and down. And that line, you throw it 45 degrees upstream, you got to be able to throw it 40 to 50 feet. I always use a teeny 350 or 400. 350 is the least I'll use. By the time it gets level over there, 90 degrees, it's going to be bouncing the bottom. And those salmon are on the bottom doing this, and they line themselves. Am I going to sit here and say that they actually attack the fly? I don't know. But most of the time you line them. But there'll be so many, it's pretty hard not to line them or catch them. You foul hook them a lot. And I'm telling you, in 7-knot current and 5 feet of water, when that salmon hits that fly, you're going to have one heck of a smile on your face. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, I've got my feather tied on that. Of course, you want to start your feather with some tight wraps at the beginning, but as you move the wrap back, make it kind of loose because you'll cut the feather if you don't. And when you cut the feather, you seem to not be a very nice person. Alright, I can put glue down, glue base. I wrap this. I do not want to wrap it all the way to the front because I want to leave some space for my egg sac. And I got one little over curl here. I want to back off a little bit. Okay. Put a little half hitch on there. Get it out of the way. I got my hackle feather and curl that around. Very easy to tie. It's like tying a clouser, you know, after you tie 3 or 4, it's just, you know, you tie it in your sleep almost. Pull the feathers back a little bit, tie this back. I'll do maybe a little small whip finish here. Get some more glue. I like using a lot of glue around there. Then I'll take my pre-cut. You can use orange. You can use anything. I've actually saw guys use chartreuse. I mean, never saw a salmon chartreuse egg, but I guess they're out there. I'll start that. What I like to do is I like to go back to the back, and I will literally, because it's monofilament thread, I will tie it off in the back. And I'll put a couple of whip finishes on there. I'll put some glue right where I tied my whip finishes. I'll fluff up the feathers a little bit. And that there is an egg-sucking leech. Like I say, especially in Alaska, you got to have the fly on the bottom. You will see the I call them the people who live there, the natives and stuff. Even the first guys I went to, they're out there with 8-foot surf rods with a 30 and 40 pound test line, and basically what they're doing is they're putting a half-ounce sinker on it with the rule out there is I think it's 12-inch leader, and they'll put a fly on it, and they'll plunk it. They'll just actually swing it over in front of them and let it go down there and swing it over and go back down there, because what they're doing is they're just going by and hoping that when that salmon comes up, they yank them. And I've seen some guys, they yank them right on the shore. We're talking 6 and 7 pound fish, but some of those guys is for their food. Some of those people are going to do it for the winter. And it's funny because sometimes I've been up there, the limit's been 3, and sometimes it's been 6. But me and one of my friends who went with me on the when I went with the motorhome trip, him and I literally within 3 hours one day we had 18 apiece. Only because the guys that were with us, there was 7 other guys, and between the 7 of those they caught 1. So we had to be nice enough to help them catch theirs. Just don't tell anybody, okay? But anyway, egg-sucking leech. Like I said, the book I had there, Dan Hanner, Alaska on the Fly. Read a book. Nowadays with YouTube and internet, you can just find out just about anything, even right up to today, when the guys are the salmon are running, where they're running, and all that stuff. Okay, so internet nowadays is a great thing. All right, Southernboysflies@gmail.com. Egg-sucking leech. You have a nice day there. Tight lines and sharp hooks.